the Center College head coach, plus an update from the UK football coach. The Pigskin Report. Brought to you by DQ Happy Tastes Good. Intercounty Energy, a Touchstone Energy cooperative. State Farm Insurance, here to help life go right. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. CC Auto Parts and Service, an Auto Value Certified Service Center. Now, with the DQ Pigskin Report, here are your hosts, Rick Schobel and Joe Mathis.
Good evening from the Harrodsburg DQ Grill and Chill. Joe, I can't believe this is the 23rd year of the Pigskin Report.
Yeah, hard to believe it's been 23 years.
23 years.
You've been here all 23 years,
I've
right?
been I've been all 23 years.
I've not. Johnny started off with you,
Yep,
and then
Johnny's idea.
Had enough of you, and
Yep,
he put me in his spot, and now I'm here.
He said, you take over, yep.
Yeah, so.
This is a great time of year, Joe. Everybody's a contender until they prove otherwise.
Yeah.
They're pretenders.
I was thinking earlier, we start off the year, we walk in, and it's 85 degrees as we walk in, and by the time we end this show in a couple months, 3 or 4 months or so, it's going to be 35 degrees as we're walking out of here. So the weather's going to change mightily, and as you said, everybody starts off 0-0, and the season and the teams will change mightily as we go throughout this year.
And we got some great teams. Of course, Bull County won state last year. Danville's on the uptick.
Yeah.
Turned around great. Mercer County, they won one game last year, but they got Travis Burns, a brand new coach who's got 5 rings. I think it's Gary County and Lincoln. I think it's going to be a fun year this year.
Yeah, Lincoln County got
UK new coach.
Yeah. I was going to say Lincoln County got hit probably the most to graduation out of any of the teams. They got hit hard, heavy by graduation, but do return their quarterback. You mentioned Garrett County. They're going to have some pieces to fill in some roles as well. A lot of optimism surrounding UK, and so I'm excited about it, Rick.
Well, and we've got, speaking of UK, Jeff Pecoro, thanks for coming back for the 23rd year of the Pigskin Report.
Last week talked Channel 36, WTVQ had bought WLEX Channel 18.
So I'm on at 11 o'clock every night. Keith does the 6, and I do the 11. We've got a pretty big sports staff now. We have 8 people, so we pretty much have Central Kentucky covered.
Well, evidently. You are the color analyst for UK football on the radio. How long have you been doing that, Jeff?
26 years.
Oh, has it been that long? Wow. And you're 28. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I started doing this when I just took the little binky out of my mouth,
Yeah. I've always said I've loved your energy and your voice, and you just really paint that picture very well, and you and Tom Leach are quite a dynamic duo together.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't want to be too technical to people, and I just get excited. I just try to be a fan talking about, something I know a lot about, and that's Kentucky football.
We have a new coach, Will Stein. Tell us what your impressions of Will Stein have been.
Wow, I wish I had his motor when I was his age, that's for sure. He eats, sleeps, and drinks football. I mean, he's married with a couple little kids. He's something else. He's a guy that's been successful at every single stop, and he's kind of carried a little chip on his shoulder because he's small. I mean, he's smaller than I am, and yet he became the starting quarterback at Louisville, beat out Teddy Bridgewater, who only had a, 9-10-year career in the NFL. So he has great energy, and his staff has great energy. It's a younger staff than what you've had here at Kentucky ever. All the guys are basically in their 20s and 30s and maybe touching the 40s, but boy, the practices are fast-paced. There's no break. There's music playing. It's fun to be around, I'll tell you that.
Well, I know everybody's cautiously optimistic. We were when Stoops first got here, too. But this guy doesn't lack confidence. I mean, what he said about the SEC, I just wonder what the other coaches, what are you doing here, son?
Well, I think that he got a top 10 portal class for a reason. Because people want to come play for him because he's got 3 quarterbacks in the NFL that he's personally tutored and coached, kind of the quarterback whisperer, so to speak. Then he goes out and gets a really aggressive defensive coordinator in Jay Bateman. And, the coaches under him, Bateman, are all really aggressive. With Coach Stoops, it was more of a bend but don't break defense. Keep everything in front of you kind of stuff. With this defense, it's going to be very aggressive. You're going to see blitzes a lot more often. But I thought that Coach Bateman made a great remark. He said, I like salt on my steak too, but too much salt and it ruins the steak. And that's the same thing with blitzing. You can't blitz every play. they are going to be very aggressive, and they're going to make things happen, and they're going to get turnovers. And offensively, I think that's the big thing with their offense, too, is that they're going to be very aggressive, and you're going to get chunk plays because they're going to try to go down the field. And that's really what's been missing in Mark Stoops' offense the last couple of years was that Wan'Dale Robinson-type guy. They just didn't have that, and he went out and got guys like that.
Tell us what has impressed you about Kenny Minchie, the quarterback.
Yeah, I think the first thing is, he's mature. He's a third year in college, so he's not just a little freshman coming in that's, bright-eyed and got deer eyes when he's back there in the pocket. Here's a guy that played at Notre Dame, hasn't really started a game yet. He's thrown, 26 passes in his college career. So to me, that's the only drawback right now that you're looking at is what happens when the lights come on and you're the starting quarterback. How does he respond to that? Other than that, he checks all the boxes. He's nice in the pocket, does not lack confidence. He can make all the throws. He can run a little bit. He can get out of the pocket, get out of the way. He's smart, football smart. And like I said, like his coach, he's a very confident kid. So that's half the battle. But again, I kind of have to hold my tongue because I haven't seen him play yet. He hasn't played 80 plays in the game yet. And once we see that, I'll know more after September 5th.
Coach Stein wasn't happy with the scrimmage they had.
Yeah, you're going to have ups and downs. And I think that you read between the lines. I don't know if it's penalties or false starts or guys just not doing their job. But, and I'm not making excuses, but it was 100 and something degrees.
Yeah.
But again, look, Rick, you can't use that as an excuse because, Derek Ramsey and those guys, the great team in 1977, lost one game. That was at Baylor, and it was hot. It was 100 and something degrees on that field, and they just kind of melted in that heat. And, that cost them probably a national championship. They were that good that year. So you can't use that as an excuse. You knew that going out. It was going to be hot. You just suck it up. Let's go. So we'll see. Look, this, I think, is the most important week of the fall camp because really the first week you're just in shorts and they have a little tag scrimmage, so to speak. This second week, which just ended, you had a real scrimmage on Saturday. Guys were out there flying around and tackling people. But this is the week because now your install, meaning all the plays defensively and offensively are now in, and now you're starting to fine-tune that. And now as they have tape of what you did wrong on Saturday, and this is the week that you fix that because after this week, you've got 1 week before you play. So you're still getting install in this week, then your next Saturday is a big scrimmage, and then you start really tailoring your practices to that first game, which is Youngstown State. So this is the most important week, possibly the whole football season for Kentucky, because this is where, you start defining your role, who's the backup at this position, who's the starter at this position, and how many snaps you're going to get, things like that.
How do you feel the depth is at running back and wide receiver?
I think they've got depth. Again, I haven't been enough to see Barnes and Baxter. Are they 100% yet? Nick Anderson, is he 100% yet? Who's going to be their big play wide receiver? I mean, you walk up next to him, and I'm almost 6 feet tall, and he is a head and shoulders taller than me. He just looks like, wow. You see guys in pads, and you're like, that's a football player. Nick Anderson is that kind of guy at wide receiver. He can fly. He's got really good hands. He's played for, 2 really good schools, so he's been around it before. But again, when the lights come on at Kroger Field, that separates everything. Same way running back, Barnes and Baxter, the 2 guys they brought in from Texas and Oklahoma. I'll tell you one guy is, the coaches have been talking about is Mizell, who was, going into a senior high school, was very highly sought after. He blew out his knee. He's come back. He's finally healthy for UK, and he's getting snaps. And from everything the coaches say, they're very pleased with him. Patterson, they're very pleased with what his retainment from last year, and he's a guy that is surprising because he's not as big as the other guys running between the tackles, but he also has breakaway speed on the outside. To me, that's the biggest thing is who's going to be that home run hitter in the backfield and who's going to be the home run hitter at wide receiver. Does Anderson become the next Lynn Bowden here? How are they going to use the tight ends in game situations? Are they going to be a focal point of the offense? Because I think Willie Rodriguez could possibly be a first-day pick in the NFL. He's that good at tight end. He reminds me of the Bowers kid at Georgia. He can do everything. He can play at first down. He can play at third down. He can block. He's an animal. I think that's the one guy that I look at and go, man, that guy is a player. And when you see him in his uniform, Skinner's the same way. He's just a lot younger at tight end. And then you've got the huge tight end in Boyer, who's 6'7", almost 270 pounds. So I think the tight end room could be very useful to this team offensively, too.
I was just going to bring that up because I hope they use the tight end more other than just for blocking. You got some talent
We say
there.
that every year, don't we?
Yeah.
Every year we say that.
They don't listen to us, Jeff.
I wish they would.
I wish they would. Hey, the offensive line looks like, at least on paper right now, to be better. What's your view?
If I'm coach, when I drive up to a stadium, the first guys getting off the bus are going to be Lance Hurd and Tegla Shabola, Ollis, and they're just monsters. I mean, these guys are 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 350 pounds. You know, like I said, they get off the bus, the fans just go, oh my God. They look like refrigerators with feet. It's just amazing. Colton Price, I didn't even mention him, is really good at center. I mean, he's really good. He was all Big 12 first team from Baylor. He's a senior coming in, and I'll tell you what, man, that guy is going to be the anchor of the offensive line. He's really good. Lance Hurd is really good at your left tackle. Malachi Wood is a guy that's really grown into the role at right tackle. And again, you know, Malachi, when you look at him, even with his uniform on, he's 6'8" and 340 pounds. You're like, man, he's skinny. he can still put on another 20 pounds, and, you know, of muscle and, you know, good weight, and he still wouldn't be fat. I mean, it's just the size of these guys now. It's actually scary. You know, I played in the SEC. I played in Kentucky. I couldn't be a manager on this team. These guys are monsters all across the board. It's amazing to me.
Where's the strength of the defense?
I think strengths up front in the front. Well, let me rephrase that. You have probably the best safety tandem in the SEC. I mean, Castile and, of course, Ty Bryant are just great. Ty is the quarterback of that defense. It's just a sensational athlete. And he and Castile have started over 100 games between them. They know, they've seen everything back there, and that's great. Now, depth up front is, I think, there. You've got a six-man rotation at the three most important spots, which are that guard and tackles. Humphrey Grace is just a man. He's a guy that you're going to see on Sundays. Harkless, who played at Frederick Douglass, who came back, went to Purdue with Brom and transferred in, is 365 pounds. I mean, he's a load, you know, over center, and, you know, at the tackle position or nose guard position. You can't move him. Gadsden is another guy who's really starting to come on. He's got, you know, he's a kid that played here in Kentucky, and his freshman year he had that injured shoulder, but it didn't see a lot of playing time. But last year he got his feet wet, and this year is going to be in the mix. I like what they have at the edge: C.J. Works and Sam Green and Cowan, and yeah, I just think up front they can finally have a rotation, a lot like Schlarman used to do with that offensive line. We all called it the big woo wall because there was 8 guys that you could put anywhere on that line. This defensive line has got quality depth now, and I think they're going to surprise some people up front.
I know one thing: the grocery stores are sure going to appreciate the offensive and defensive lines.
They can eat, man. I don't know what they're feeding them, but I wish I could have had some when I played. That's for sure.
Jeff Pecoro, we appreciate you being part. This is the 23rd year of the Pigskin Report that we have done.
There we go.
With the only ones, Jeff, that I'm aware of in the state that has interviews with 5 high school football coaches in the area. Plus, we've got Jeff Pecoro with UK, and of course, we are a UK affiliate, WRNZ is. And we got Center College's Andy Fry will be joining us next week.
Wow, that's awesome. And of course, we start play this week in high school football.
Yes.
It's here, man. It's here.
It is here and ready to go again. Jeff, next Monday we'll catch up and we'll talk about the first UK game with Youngstown State and Jeff Pecoro.
Hi, buddy. Thank you.
Jeff Pecoro there. The UK, boy, he's fired up. I hope
got me fired up.
We're not drinking the blue Kool-Aid again. But I don't know. They got some mammoth guys, he said, in the line.
Better be optimistic than pessimistic, right? You got some excitement, new head coach, obviously offensive-minded, got some guys that you're excited about.
6'8" wide receiver.
Yeah, 6'8" offensive lineman, too.
Yes,
Size of small cars up front.
Yeah. Well, we are at the Harrodsburg DQ Grill and Chill with the Pigskin Report, and we'll be back after we take this time out. You're getting it on FM 99.5, FM 103.9, and streaming live at hometownlive.net.
kind of tires do we keep at CC Auto? Cooper, Michelin, Nitto, Hankook, Firestone, Bridgestone, Toyo, General, Yokohama, and many more. We've just added the new line of Mastercraft tires, and we are also a Goodyear national account dealer. We keep lawn and garden tires in stock, as well as farm implement tubes and tires. We have a farm service truck to meet the needs of our farmers. Call us at CC Auto today, 734-9515.
CC Auto Parts and Service. Service is the difference. We get it.
If you use electric appliances in the bathroom, garage, or outdoors, any place where moisture is present, you need a GFCI. The folks at your local electric cooperative want you to know that a GFCI, or ground fault circuit interrupter, will help you use those appliances safely by protecting you from electrical shocks. If you'd like to learn more about GFCIs, call your local electric cooperative. We're Kentucky's electric cooperatives, and our power is our people.
Intercounty Energy, a Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
And now, back to the DQ Pigskin Report.
Joe Mathis alongside Radio Rick. We are live from the Harrodsburg Dairy Queen, where you can join us, talk high school football, and eat some great food. They've got a Blizzard Double Flip BOGO. It's a mouthful. 99-cent Blizzard. When you buy one, you get one for 99 cents. That is
That's
a
a good deal.
mobile app only, on the app only, but that's a Harrisburg DQ special, the Blizzard Double Flip BOGO. Let's go to Stanford Talk with Lincoln County head coach Levi Rogers. And Coach Rogers, 3 practices and 1 walkthrough before Friday Night Lights.
It sounds awesome to me. Favorite time of the year. You know, we're excited to go over here. We got the Death Valley Bowl coming up, so we can't wait for Friday.
Now, you like the Death Valley Bowl, don't you? I learned yesterday 12th Region Sports did their Sunday night show. Levi Rogers has never lost a Death Valley Bowl as head coach.
Yeah, I reckon I've gotten lucky a few times here to start it off, so we'll see if we can't keep that streak going.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, keeping it going. And you got a North Bullitt team that is coming into the Death Valley Bowl, Coach. Before we hop into North Bullitt, let's talk about Lincoln County. And you all obviously were an extremely senior-heavy team last year in terms of skill players in the backfield, things of that nature. One guy you do have coming back is your quarterback, Tucker Foster. How much you going to lean on Tucker? I mean, he's the quarterback, he's the leader of the offense, but to be that guy this year.
Yeah, Tuck's, everything starts and goes with him through us, which, this is his 3rd year starting for me. He's taken every rep the last 2 years at quarterback, so we're excited about it. I'm excited to have him his senior year. He's had a really good off season. He's put on some muscle, done the right things in the weight room. The kid, he's a 3-sport athlete that works nonstop, and even finds time to get in the weight room and practicing 2 different sports a day. I mean, the kid's just, he's a true leader, and our guys look up to him. And I've mentioned it before, he raises the level of play. So, you're right. We're going to lean on him.
In the backfield, Coach, who takes over in the backfield? Damon Spiegel is gone. Reed Curlis is gone. Cash Smith is gone. And we'll get to the receiving corps as well. Bryce Bob Floyd obviously is gone. Who takes over in the backfield?
Starting for us in the backfield will be Malik Hill. It's a new name. He's a freshman for us this year.
Wow.
He's came in, done a really good job, running hard for us. He's got a pretty high ceiling to him. We keep him working and keep him grinding in there. So you'll see Malik in there. You'll see a kid by the name of Aiden Phillips in there, who's a junior for us, who's going to get carries as well. And then there'll be a couple other guys kind of sprinkled in there. You may see a kid by the name of Craven Murphy, who's another freshman who runs hard, is a good-sized kid. There's a sophomore that didn't play last year who's a good-sized kid, kind of raw talent, but we may give him the ball some in Dalton Rowland. So you'll see multiple guys in the backfield throughout the year for us.
What about in the receiving corps? Again, talked about Bryce Bob Floyd. Johnny Atkins graduated as well. Who takes over in those spots?
The receiving corps is kind of interesting for us because they're guys that didn't get a lot of snaps last year, but were kind of senior-heavy there again. Trey Burkhart's a kid that kind of came in late for us last year and ended up practicing with us but didn't play any varsity games. He played a little bit of JV. He'll start at one wide receiver. Levi Grubbs will play some tight end and wide receiver. He was a JV quarterback for us last year, and now he's just receiver full-time. I'm expecting a big year out of him. He's a really good football player. And then we got a guy by the name of Parker Hart, who's also a senior, who I kind of recruited the hallways. We wanted Parker to play. He's a starter on the baseball team and on the soccer team, which makes it a little difficult. But Parker Hart will be playing the other wide receiver for us.
We mentioned a lot of names that are gone. Tucker Foster is back. Another guy that's back is Brody Baker, the field goal maker.
Yes, he is. Brody Baker's back. So it gives us a little bit of steadiness on the special teams. But we had a little banquet dinner last night, actually, and I was kind of laughing about it because, we got Brody back, which I say is a steady part of special teams, but he's about the only one that came back in those spots as well. So
yeah.
It's good to have Brody very consistent. We got a new holder this year, Micaiah Ruppel. And long snapper is Dalton Brock, which is also new this year. But those three have already been working, and I expect those things to be pretty consistent like they have been in the past.
Friday night, you take on North Bullitt, a team Lincoln County has not played in 41 years. The only matchup came in 1985 when Lincoln beat North Bullitt 21-19. Tell us about this North Bullitt team. What do you expect to see out of them on Friday night? We'll start off offensively, Coach.
Yeah, they kind of base out the wing tee, a little flex bone, double wing type stuff. So it's a more run predominant offense, but, if you get in there and you put too many in the box, they definitely have the ability to hit you with some big plays and some pass plays, and they do some tricky stuff on offense, so they get off the ball well up front. So we got to be able to match that line of scrimmage, make sure we're not getting pushed back off the ball. And then we got to tackle well. I got a lot of new guys on defense. It's early in the season. Tackling's going to be key.
Defensively, anything that stands out to you from the Eagles' defense?
They seem like, especially the D-line, they play some quicker guys on the D-line. They kind of line up in a 3-3 stack, and they like to slant those guys and kind of get after you a little bit up front. So we got to make sure we know what we're doing on the offensive line as well. But really they got a good nose guard, it seems like. I think he's one of the captains on their team. He's a quicker guy in the middle, so we got to make sure we get him blocked.
Coach, what's the keys to a victory to not only continue your unbeaten streak of the Death Valley Bowl, but what would also be most importantly a 1-0 start for Lincoln County football? What do you need to do right on Friday?
For us, it's just offensively we need to execute and take care of the football. Like I said, a lot of new faces, a lot of young guys out there in the bright lights. So we got to take care of the ball first and foremost, and then I mentioned it a second ago, we got to tackle. It's no big surprise there. Tackling's going to be key on defense.
That's Levi Rogers of Lincoln County. Now let's go over to Mercer County. New coach Travis Burns. So happy to have you on the 23rd year of the Pigskin Report.
Thanks for having me.
Give us just a quick little overview of someone who didn't get to hear you this morning, where you've coached before and how you ended up at Mercer.
So, I started at George Rogers Clark. That would have been the 2015 season. Then I went to Boyle. I was there for 8 seasons. And, every job title you can think of I had. And then I went to Pulaski County. I was there for 2 years. And then now I'm here at Mercer County.
Now, you took Pulaski County to the state game last year. Mercer County's kind of fallen on hard times. They won one game last year. What was the intrigue of getting you to come to Mercer County?
Well, I think one is just the buy-in from the administration. That is obvious. And, we have an indoor facility, and then now, they're currently building a $16.5 million facility over there at the high school, brand new football turf field, track, brand new locker rooms and brand new weight room. So the investment in from the administration, they want a winner. The community, it has such a rich tradition, not only, being the oldest city or permanent settlement in Kentucky, but Harrodsburg High School and all the great players and great coaches that come from that community. And then the Scotties, when they were the Scotties, and then even the Titans themselves have won a state title in 2006. So just the rich tradition that is here, and I like a challenge. I think that this program should be great, with the talent that is here, and it just needs some guidance.
How many kids you got coming out for the team?
We have 34 currently.
Coach, you've got Fairdale coming in to Mercer County at Little Caesars Bowl on Saturday night. We'll have the game right here on WHBN. What do you know about Fairdale's offense?
They have a lot of guys coming back. They have a lot of skill talent. They've got a quarterback that can throw the football and put it on dime, and he's pretty athletic. He wants to throw first, but he can run if he needs to. They have a really good ex-receiver, a pretty big back. So their offense is pretty good. And, they, just like like everybody else, they have those early season woes, and I only see them going up from here.
What about the offensive line? Are they big?
No, they're not real big, but you can tell they're well coached, and they do what they do very well. So that's a positive sign always when you watch film and you can tell that what they're doing because they're so well coached.
What about defense? What are you liable to see from them?
Well, you're going to see, 4-4 cover 3. You're going to see a very athletic defensive line, and then they have athletic secondary guys, and you're going to see some linebackers that get downhill and run to the football.
What about special teams? What do you see there?
Special teams is very much the same. You're going to see a well-coached ball club that at the end of the day they get after it, and it's going to be a great challenge.
Do they have much team speed?
Oh, yeah, tons of team speed, which everybody we play is going to have great team speed, so you just have to learn how to play with it. You take great angles and pursue the football and things like that.
Coach, what's it going to take for Mercer County to get a W Saturday night against Fairdale in Little Caesars Bowl?
Well, I think first and foremost, we have to be the most physical team on the field. 90% of the games that I've won as an assistant or the team was the most physical team. You got to take care of the football. Turnover margin is huge in the game. We can't do like we did in our scrimmage against Washington County and give the ball to the opposing team 3 times in our 20. We have to be the best team. That's one thing we're learning to do, but we have to trust each other that we're going to do our job and do it at a high level. And then doing our jobs with passion and grit and purpose and fighting, even regardless of good or bad, just keep fighting until the final horn blows.
Coach, best of luck in practice the rest of the week and in the game on Saturday night, and we look forward to talking to you next Monday night.
Thank you all for having me.
All right, this new coach, Travis Burns, a lot of optimism there.
Yeah. Should be. He's a good young coach. Yep. Won 5 championships at Boyle County. Took Pulaski County to the state championship in the second year.
Yeah.
So
and they were on hard times too. He said it's been 6 years since they've beat any real good teams at Pulaski County. So
really, I think a slam dunk hire for Mercer County. Should be a fun year for the Titans.
Speaking of slam dunk, the blizzard of the month at the Harrodsburg DQ Grill and Chill is the new caramel apple cheesecake.
See a picture of it up there in the corner.
That really is good. And if you're not faint of heart, the flamethrower chicken strip basket is calling you today.
I am not faint of heart. I would love to try that out.
Oh, you would?
I would.
Parmesan garlic and honey barbecue sauce and tossed chicken strips basket duo. DQ signature sprinkles cupcake. Oh, let me tell you about this, too. For all of the Harrodsburg, Dairy Queen loves the teachers of Mercer and Bergen Independent, and both boards of education, all the bus drivers and employees for the month of August, all the employees of Mercer County and Bergen schools can get a DQ lemonade sparkler for half price. They've got pineapple and hibiscus. All you have to do is show your school ID to get half price.
Love it. Good stuff.
There we go, Barbara Montgomery.
Sparkling
she does
lemonade
it again.
hibiscus.
Yes. And we're going to be sparkling right out of here and take another time out, and then we'll be back more with the first of the year, the DQ Pigskin Report. You're getting live to Harrisburg DQ Grill and Chill, where happy tastes good, right here on 103.9 FM WHIR, 99.5 FM WHBN, and streamed live at hometownlive.net.
Your limo, gentlemen.
Oh, yes!
If you could go to the game like this...
you want to watch the pregame?
Oh, would I? For the same price as this...
Watch the closing doors.
Come on, let's go!
Oh, ouch!
Why wouldn't you? It's the same with auto insurance. With discounts up to 40%, it's possible to get the personal service of a State Farm agent for the same or less than those other guys.
Hello, everybody. I'm State Farm Agent David Hopewell. You can call my office 24/7 in Harrodsburg at 734-5338. Again, that's 734-5338.
Are you considering a new home purchase or maybe a remodel? Are you looking for a stable partner you can trust to help you understand your options? This is Jason Tyler. I'm a loan officer at Whitaker Bank in Harrodsburg. As part of your community, I'm here to help you understand the best options for you today and in the future. Give me a call at 859-734-3316 and let me show you what Uniquely Kentucky means. Whitaker Bank is Uniquely Kentucky, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
And now, back to the DQ Pigskin Report.
Joe Mavis alongside Radio Rick, live from the Harrodsburg Dairy Queen for the first of what we hope is going to be, what, about 20 weeks of the show, I guess? If we start from week 1 and go through 10 playoff games, 10 regular season games, plus the bye week is 11, plus 5 playoff games.
The 5th being the state game, if anybody's still around.
So it'll be 16 or 17 weeks or so of the show if everything goes according to plan. Certainly hoping so, and all these teams are as well, trying to get their road to Kroger Field started off this week. And one of those teams is Garrett County, and head coach Spencer Crutchfield joins us. And, Coach, the season kicks off on Friday. How does that sound to you?
Well, about time, Joe. It's, like I tell everybody, sometimes it flies by and sometimes it drags by. So, definitely need these three more practices, but we're ready to hit the ground running.
You got Madison Southern coming up here, Coach, on Friday night in the Death Valley Bowl there in Lincoln County. And this is a team that you all, in terms of Garrett County, are familiar with, like, historically speaking. They played a ton from the early 90s through the middle 2010s. But you haven't played them in 8 years now, so kind of get to rebirth this matchup between Madison Southern. Let's talk about this Madison Southern offense, Coach. First game, how do you go about scouting an offense in the first game of the year? You go back and look at scrimmages?
Yeah, well, we're going to, you can pull up their previous film from the year before and scout their 2 scrimmages, but as well as I do, and a lot of coaches are going to not show their whole hand in the first 2 scrimmages and going to have some things hidden. So, the main thing you got to worry about is just yourself and trying to make sure you're getting yourself better throughout the week of practice. Being able to adjust on the fly and being able to, listen to calls and tweaks and checks that you're going to have to make throughout the game. So, we got to worry about us this week and make sure we're trying to get better, and then we'll figure it out from there.
Coach, this is a team that was very run-heavy last year, ran about 450 plays or so, 300-plus of those were runs. They do return their running back, Simaj DeShields, who ran for 837 yards and 4 touchdowns. Their quarterback is back as well. So what do you expect to see out of their offense?
Well, looking at their scrimmages, they're definitely going to run the football. They have a really big offensive line. They get off the football well, and they're going to try to be physical at the point of attack. And their running back is really shifty, got great balance, a strong kid. So, we're going to have our hands full. They're going to try to run it at us, but they're also more than capable of throwing the ball down the field and throwing a lot of screen games. So they can do both well, and that stresses you as a defense. So, we got to make sure that we're just trying to fly around and get 11 halves of the football.
Defensively, Coach, what do you expect to see out of the Madison Southern defense?
They're gonna base out of a 3-4, 5-2, and they're gonna bring their outside linebackers up on the edge and kind of create some pressure for you. They blitz a little bit, not a ton, but they're, like I said, they've got great team speed. They're a good-sized football team, and have a 5A football team compared to 3A football team we are. You can definitely tell the size differential. So we're going to have to make sure that we're playing with low pad level, and we're going to try to move them off the football and make sure we can pick up the pressures when they do bring it.
You all were pretty heavy senior-led last year, especially in skill positions. Obviously, Justin Parsons is gone. Do-it-all guy R.J. Blair is gone. Lucas Witt is gone. So, Coach, let's start off with the quarterback position. Is it going to be Ryan No?
It will be Ryan No, yes, sir.
Yeah, I love watching Ryan play basketball last year. He's a phenomenal athlete. What does Ryan bring to the table?
Ryan's very heady, like you said. He's just a smooth athlete, not going to overwhelm you with just blazing speed or anything, but is, deceptive with his strides just because he's such a long kid, and very heady, just understands how to get people open, where he needs to go with the ball, and he does a great job of running our offense. So, he brings a little different dynamic to the table than Justin did. He will probably, be able to throw the ball a little bit more just because he's more comfortable with getting out on the run and moving and being able to deliver the ball on the run.
Coach, in the backfield, R.J. Blair, Lucas Witt, again, Justin is gone. Tell us about Jacob Pendergrist, who more than likely will get the bulk of the carries in the backfield.
JP is going to be a guy that we're going to count on big time this year. He's just a sophomore, but he got quite a bit of experience on the defensive side. He started outside linebacker for us, so he's used to varsity football, but he's just going to have to tote the rock for us this year. And we have a kid, C.J. Watson, who moved in here from Louisiana, who's going to carry it from some for us. So, we're going to have to play running back by committee, and hopefully Ryan can also alleviate some of that run game and be able to carry the ball a few times for us as well.
In the special teams game, Coach, again, RJ was such a fun player to watch last year because he literally did it all. He even kicked for you. Who takes over the kicking duties for RJ Blair?
Well, we have a freshman, Nate Sullivan, who's going to take over for us. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Sullivans when Coach Perry was here in the early 90s, but His dad Patrick played center, and his uncle Nick played quarterback. So got a good lineage of talent there. He's just got to develop and continue to get stronger. But he's going to end up being a great kicker for us.
Coach, when you look at your team last year, you put up 30-plus points in, I'm trying to count, I think 7 of the 10 games. One of the other ones you put up 29, so right near that. The offense was really good last year. Do you expect kind of the same trend? I know you've got some guys you're replacing, and obviously the point is the score points, but what do you expect to see out of your offense this year?
A little different. It'll be a little bit different. Like I said, we may not have the depth at running back that we've had the last few years, but we definitely have some playmakers. They're majority sophomores. To be determined. We're still trying to figure that out ourselves and trying to figure out what's our best look and how we're going to go about it. But we're going to try to run the football. That's just what we do, and we'll figure out how we need to get that done.
Garrett County head football coach Spencer Crutchfield. Coach, what's the keys to a victory Friday evening, 6 o'clock versus Madison Southern?
Well, I think the main thing is we're going to try to have to win the line of scrimmage, because if they can just run the football at us, it's going to be a long night for us. And if we're not able to move the football offensively, that can take a toll on you. So being physical and make sure we take care of the football and just don't let them have any short fields, make them drive the length of the field to score.
And that was Coach Crutchfield from Garrett County. Joe, they've got the DQ Grill and Chill. The $4 breakfast is still available. $7 meal deal, which includes a meat, fries, drink, and sundae. And they've got a 2 for $5 menu. Check out a lot of great things going on at Barbara Montgomery's DQ Grill and Chill. Now, let's check out the defending champion 4A, Boyle County coach Justin Haddix. Welcome back to the 23rd year of the Pigskin Report.
Appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
Thank you for your time and being a part of. Without you coaches, we wouldn't have anything. So I've always said I like getting it straight from the horse's mouths from you all. How did practice go here in the spring and the summer?
Seems like I say it every year. This is the strongest team that we've ever had, which is a good thing to be saying. That means that Coach Ray and those guys have done a great job of working on this off season, which is big. What we got to have to really start the foundation for what we're going to be. We've got a good group coming back. They show up and they work hard. They're fun to be around. And this summer I feel like we've gotten better as in the 7-on-7s and working together and do it. And it seems like yesterday you snap your fingers and it was July the 10th, and then now here we go. It's game week.
Coach, it seems like the conditioning program that you have the guys in, you kind of stay away from major injuries. And I'm knocking on wood right now.
Yeah, knock on wood. We've had a couple. We've got one with a collarbone, and one we lost a freshman to a meniscus, and he's probably out for the year. So we've had a couple, but we're definitely we're very blessed as far as what we're doing there. We just got to continue to keep working, and I think a lot of that's a testament to the weight room of them preparing their bodies and getting them ready to go.
Nobody can say Justin Haddix ducks anybody. You got 6 teams that you play in the top 25. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's something for us. What people don't understand. Our district is our district and who we've got, but then so we've got a 4-team district, so we've got to play those 3 teams, and then we get a schedule 7. We choose to play the best teams that we can play, that we can schedule. So that is something that we iron sharpens iron. We want to see what we got, and we want to be tested, and those are the big games I think kids remember. The big crowds, the playing in the big stages, and then also looking at it from a parent standpoint and a recruiting standpoint. If the college thing, they want to see what you do against other good people. They don't want to see you against some other teams that aren't very good. They want to see you. How do you play against the best players? And that's something that our kids rise to that occasion and look forward to that. And I look forward to coaching those big games.
Well, and I think the college scouts are going to be following you around because you sure get some great athletes sent into the next division.
Yeah, and that's just part of it. That's just another thing. You got to be ready. You got to be prepared. Our guys do that in the weight room, and then we've got to have a great week of practice, and then you get a chance to show off what all you've been working on.
How do you keep these kids motivated? I mean, here, again, another state championship you come off of. You got that bullseye on your back, as Boyle County always does, and that's somebody's season to knock you off.
Yeah, that's something, and it's tough, and I know we look at it a lot we talk about that a lot of, hey, we're going to get their best game, which is great. Anytime we walk across those white lines, we're expected to play a certain way. We're going to, as coaches, we got to hold them accountable for that all week. We can't take that for granted. We only have so many opportunities to play the game, and we want to make sure we give it our best. And people are showing up to watch us and paying money to come watch us. We need to put on a show.
And you'll put on a show come Saturday at Bowling Green, Owensboro Catholic. Tell us what you know about their offense.
Well, they've got the best quarterback in the state of Kentucky. He's a 3 or 4-star kid going to the University of Louisville. So anytime you're playing Division I quarterback, he can make all the throws. He's athletic, smart, understands what they do in that system. And then you look at it as a tackle. They've got a tackle with offers from everybody in the country. He's 6'8", 295 pounds, and can really play. And then they've got receivers that run all over the place, and they're really active on defense. We're going to have our hands full.
And what do you think they like to do? They like to run to open up the pass? They do a little of both?
They're a 70-30 is what they've been, pass to run. They want to throw the football. They want to show off what they do in the system that they run. They do a really good job.
So you talk about all these great guys. You've got an awesome monster there at Seneca Driver. The different ways you've utilized him on offense, defense. This guy is a difference maker.
Yeah, he's an elite player. He's got an elite, obviously athletic ability, but then his mindset is also that way of just watch the way he plays. And we talk about when you cross those white lines, this is how you got to be. And he's a great kid. We had a youth camp. He's obviously great with that. But when he walks across those white lines and he's playing the game, he's a different person, which is good. And we need that. And we've got a lot of guys that way. Kane Logan is someone, I think, one of our most underrated players. 5'10", 210, and can 5'11", can run. He's going to be a back, really smart, plays strong safety, plays linebacker. And we just got some football players. They're very versatile. Lucas Akers, another kid. Braden Borders-Kaufman. That's our linebacker core. They could all play a lot of different positions, and they get us lined up, and those guys are just versatile football players, not necessarily this or that or linebacker or this. They just love playing football.
What about defense? What do you expect to see from Owensboro Catholic?
They've been in a 3-3 stack. They've kind of done a little bit with they like to bring some pressure. They want to play 2 high safeties, and we look at other games. Last year they got some 4 down front. I think they did have a change at coordinator, so we'll see kind of what it is. In the scrimmages, they've been a 3-3 stack, so we'll go from there. But they're downhill, they're aggressive, and get to the football.
Special teams, what do they look like there?
Well, it's hard to see. In the special teams, obviously they've got a good return game. Just watching what they're doing, they've been always consistent there. It seems like I don't know, but most of the private schools always got a kicker, and they do a good job in the special teams game. It seems like all the ones we played. So I'm sure they'll be tough there.
Final question. What's it going to take for a W on Saturday for Boyle County against Owensboro Catholic?
For us, obviously, turnovers are huge early. Turnovers and penalties, self-inflicted things that you can't do. We've got to take care of the football. We've got to limit the big play. And those are 2 things we didn't do in the scrimmage. We had 2 turnovers, and then I think they had 7 big plays. So what we consider a big play is a 15-yard plus pass or a 10-yard plus run. So we had too many of those. We can't give those up, and we got to play Rebel football, 11 black ass to the ball.
Coach, best of luck in the rest of practice this week in the game on Saturday. We look forward to talking again next Monday night. I've only got one word for you: Michigan.
we may get in that little lineup, and we'll see what happens.
Okay, I've told you before, it's my favorite play. I love it.
Yeah, we may line up. That may be a huddle. We may start the game like that. You never know.
Okay. Coach, thanks. All right, bye-bye.
Go Rebels.
There you go, Boyle County head coach Justin Haddix. Yeah, you're kind of like Rick. I saw the University of Akron was doing a giveaway where they allow one lucky fan to script the season's first offensive drive for Akron. You're kind of scripting it for Boyle County.
Yeah.
You put the idea in his head. Maybe the first play, Rick, in honor of you, they'll come out with Michigan.
I have never seen this play before. All 11 players line up one behind the other and stand there, and then all of a sudden at the last second they just break out, just running every which way. Defense doesn't know where to go because they're all lined up in a straight line, and they have to react quickly because, again, normally you know where the receivers are going, but when you've got Michigan going on, you don't know where they're going.
Yeah, we'll see if they pull it out of the mini bag of Haddix tricks.
Yeah, if he does, see if he looks up at me.
That's 5 o'clock Eastern time, 4 o'clock Central time down there at Western Kentucky University as Boyle County will take on Owensboro Catholic. Yeah,
you know all about that.
I do. Coach Haddix knows a lot more about that football field than I do. Of course, Haddix played there in college, and I went to college there, but didn't do anything in the football field like Haddix did there. So we'll see if he can win another game at WKU's football field there on Saturday. The nightcap on Friday night, the final game of the the first night of action Friday will be Danville taking on Marion County. We'll have that game on WHIR, and we're fortunate enough to talk with Danville head football coach Steve Stonebreaker. And Coach Stonebreaker, year number 2 at Danville. How excited are you?
Well, I'm excited, Joe. I'm glad we're to a game prep week. I can tell you that. I'm excited that we had the game plan weekend, had a staff meeting last night talking about what we're going to do against Marion County, and today we're going to get after it this afternoon, starting to get preparations on, really focused in on one opponent. So really excited about that, and excited for the Stewart Powell Ford Mazda Pigskin Classic Friday night. It's going to be a great bowl atmosphere, it looks like. Temperatures are going to be great. Looks like the storms are going to be gone in the morning, so should have a great crowd out there once again. And we're just really excited about starting our season with a home bowl game once again. That's we brought back to a 2-game bowl last year, and it was exciting then, and we're looking forward to having it grow each and every year, and thankful for Stewart Powell and their partnership with that.
Coach, let's talk about your team. Offensively speaking, like we know last year, you won 9 games. Javian Mukes was basically the talk of the town last year with how good he came in with a bang last year. 31 rushing touchdowns, nearly 1,900 rushing yards. But I want to start with your quarterback, Dylan Kruver. Quarterback touches the ball every single play. Dylan had a great year last year as well. How much do you lean even more heavily on Dylan this year at quarterback in his sophomore year?
Yeah, he's gonna step up and hoist more of the load. He's a kid that's had a really good preseason, had a great offseason in the weight room. His bench press went up 75 pounds and just got a whole lot stronger. He grew a couple inches in the offseason. He's in the second year of the system, and what I've seen is quarterbacks really make jumps between year 1 and year 2 starting. So just really excited about having him back. And the type of kid that he is, the type of leader he is, and he's definitely going to handle more of it this year.
In the backfield, Javian Mukes is back, Coach. Just a phenomenal player. Tell us what you expect from Javian this season.
Well, he's a kid that got stronger as well. He's got a lot going for him as far as God-given talent all the way around. And more than anything, the thing that I tell people, he's just a great kid. I mean, he's an outstanding kid. The kind of kid that you want in your program, but definitely the kind of kid that you want as one of your top players, because, the kids really look to him and gravitate toward him for positive reasons. He's somebody that's going to be better this year. He's benching over 300 pounds. He's squatting, right at 545, and just a kid that can do so much with his field vision. But then with the strength and the lower body strength that he has to be able to maintain balance and break tackles and then block, that's going to be the thing. I expect him to be a much better blocker this year than he was last year. So he's going to make a jump in play too. We're really excited about where he's at.
We could spend a lot of time talking about all the individual playmakers. There are a lot of them. Trendon Sellers is back. I'm going to be excited to watch Braden Ford in his second year. Mylan Peters, the list goes on and on. Coach, just real quickly, being a kid who grew up in the Danville school system, went to Jenny Rogers, went to Bate, went to Danville High School in the heyday, there in the late 90s, early to mid 2000s of Danville football. Sam Harp and Jerry Perry are the two names that always pop in, like the faces of Danville football at that point. And Jerry Perry is back on staff. How cool is that to see that come full circle for Danville fans?
Yeah, that's awesome. There's been so much positive reaction to his hire, so much positive reaction to him being back with us. It's been great. The kids have really taken to him. Jerry obviously knows his stuff. He's somebody that can do the job without me looking over his shoulder, and that's important to me. So it's just great to have somebody with that type of experience and somebody that with that type of pedigree doing that job.
Marion County is the team you have on Friday night, Coach. They're led by Ross Brown. Ross is a good young coach, the son of Mark Brown, who was the longtime E-Town coach. Ross actually took over for his dad at E-Town, led E-Town to the 2020 state championship game. Marion County's got a good head coach in Ross Brown. What do you expect to see out of Marion County on Friday night?
Well, they got a good defensive coordinator in Mark Brown.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So,
okay.
There you go. So you mentioned the name, and he's calling their defense. So, they've got a good staff over there. They did a good job with them last season, installing their system, which is an even front defense. It's a wing T style offense, and they're going to be a formidable opponent for us. They'll probably be better than any team we scrimmaged.
Yeah, Danville head coach Steve Stonebreaker. Coach, what's the keys to a victory Friday night, and what do you want to see out of your Admirals to start off this season 1-0?
Well, I think early in the season, kicking game is of vital importance, and you can a lot of times tell teams that have worked on it more than others and that kind of thing, and you can't have mistakes in the kicking game early in the season, because that seems to cost you more early in the season than really at any other time, just because those things are more prevalent. So I think the kicking game is vital and staying away from mistakes. And then defensively, we have to tackle well. We got to do a great job up front, and we got to tackle really well. Offensively, we have to hold on to the football. We can't do things that beat ourselves, and that's the main one on that side of the ball. I think for us, those are the three big keys to winning Friday night.
Danville Admiral head football coach Steve Stonebreaker and the Admirals playing Friday night. We'll step aside. We'll come back with one last commercial break and let you know what the schedule is of action this weekend. Again, Friday and Saturday, it's, I guess what they consider week 0, but I call it week 1 of the high school football season. Games are being played. It's bowl season. Friday and Saturday, we'll tell you the games coming up right here on the Pigskin Report of the Harrodsburg Dairy Queen on 99.5 FM WHBM, 103.9 FM WHIR, and HometownLive.net.
What makes Whitaker Bank uniquely Kentucky? Our mission is to provide comprehensive banking products and services for our customers and to invest in the Kentucky communities where we live. Whitaker Bank is a reliable partner, guiding you towards solid decisions for today's evolving environment and for the challenges you may face tomorrow. We are committed to building long-term relationships with our customers and the communities we serve. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
CC Auto Parts and Service is a difference. We get it. No appointment necessary. Fast, friendly auto service every time. We'll have you in and out, hassle-free. Brakes, engines, and service of every kind. With free pickup and free delivery. CC Auto Parts and Service is a difference. We get it.
Intercounty Energy wants you to put safety first when you're working outside this summer. Always look up to see if there are overhead power lines, and be sure to stay clear of them. For safety's sake, always hire a professional to trim trees instead of doing it yourself. Remember, a tree limb cut in the wrong place could fall on a power line and cause you a world of hurt. If you do decide to do the work yourself, always protect your eyes and hands by wearing safety glasses and gloves. Intercounty Energy cares about your safety. Look up, be alert, and stay safe.
And now, back to the DQ Pigskin Report.
Joe Evis alongside Radio Rick. We're live from the Harrodsburg Dairy Queen, and it is high school football week. Friday, the season kicks off, and here's how the schedule looks on Friday night for our area teams. Garrett County will take on Madison Southern Friday night, 6 o'clock at the Lincoln County Death Valley Bowl. That is a game 6 o'clock on Z105. We'll have live on WRNZ, Z105, and HometownLive.net. Later on that evening, Lincoln County in the Death Valley Bowl takes on North Bullitt. That is an 8:30 kickoff for that game. Danville takes on Marion County Friday night as well. It's scheduled 8:30-ish or so on 103.9 FM WHIR. It's really 30 minutes after that first game ends. On Saturday, Boyle County is taking on Owensboro Catholic, 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll have that game on Z105 WRNZ FM on Saturday. And also on Saturday night, a little bit later on, Mercer County and the Travis Burns debut takes on Fairdale High School out of Louisville. 8 o'clock is the scheduled kickoff time for that one. And Gary True will have the play-by-play call of that one on 99.5 FM WHBN.
Well, that's it. That's another wrap. We appreciate you listening. Thank you, Robert Wagner, back at the studio. Thank you all the coaches. And get out and support our sponsors. It's very important to do that. Get out and be good sports fans. It's been another live sports presentation of the Hometown Radio Network. We'll see you next week for the Harrodsburg DQ
Pigskin Report. Brought to you by State Farm Insurance Agent, Intercounty Energy, CC Auto Parts and Service, Whitaker Bank, and by DQ of Harrodsburg. Join us every Monday evening at 6 during football season for the Pigskin Report on the Hometown Radio Network and HometownLive.net. Miss any part of the show? Listen to the video replay on HometownLive.net.